This is KJ with KJ's Projects. I wanted to make a kind of announcement video. We have some exciting things going on the channel. It's going to take some preparation and upgrades to the Jeep to get there, but I'm announcing the intention for 2025 summer. Katie, myself, and a few friends will be going on the Rubicon Trail. It's going to take a lot of work to get the Jeep where I want it to. It's going to take a lot of money too. But basically I think I have everything budgeted out so that we can build the Jeep the way it needs to be built before we do Rubicon Trail. A few of those upgrades that I'm going to kind of talk about real quick, and these are my plans. So if you have experience with any of the products that I'm mentioning, if you have other ideas, if you say, hey Kyle, you want to do this instead of this because of this, please, please, please let me know in the comments below. I want to have a good discussion, you know, be friendly, respectful, everything. But I've never been out that far before, and I want to make sure that the Jeep is prepared so that we have a good time and don't have any major issues. So with that being said, I'm going to get my phone here and we're going to run down the list of everything I'm planning to do the Jeep as of January 2024. Okay everyone, I have my list up here on the phone, so let's get at it. The first upgrade, and these are no particular order, it's just kind of what I have as far as budgeted and bracketed. So I'm planning on running 37-inch tall tires. One of the complaints with the JL is the dead spot, especially with the larger tires, so I am planning on doing the Apex Performing upgrade, and that's going to add a cooler for the power steering system, and it's also going to increase the pressure so the feel of steering is a lot better, especially with the larger tires. Don't want to go to full ram assist. I know it's better, the pros and cons. The main con is going to be cost. Also, this is my daily driver, so I want to have as close to a stock feel as possible. With that being said, next thing is the Steer Smart brace. I do have the steel box on my JL, but that is a weak point on Jeeps is the steering box and the sector shaft for the steering connection there. So definitely want to make sure that it's not as strong as possible, but a good upgrade, hopefully prevent issues on the trail. All right, for some of you that know me personally, you know that I'm a radio guy. I have my ham, GMRS, and to round it all out, I'm going to be adding the Cobra 75 All-Road, which is a CB radio. I want to be able to talk to different vehicles across different platforms and channels, just because you never know when you're going to run into an instance on the road. Hopefully those other folks have radios and you can talk back and forth. The benefit for the 75 All-Road from Cobra is that it has a microphone head unit all into one. It then has a cord that just has to plug into a USB power outlet. It's Bluetooth, so the brains of the whole operation can be mounted anywhere in the vehicle. In the Jeep JL, Jeep Wranglers, there's not a lot of space to mount radios unless you do something over the top. Not going to do that. So being able to put that kind of in any cubby is appealing to me. So we're going to try it out and see how it goes. I mentioned earlier that I'm going to be doing 37-inch tall tires. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm planning on running Cooper STT Pros. I've had great success with them, had them on the JK, loved them. I've got them on my ZJ. Actually, I've had two sets on the ZJ. I went from 31s to 33-inch tall tires. 37 is really going to be the highest size tire that I'm going to run. I'm not going to put 40s on this thing. I'm, again, daily driving, so I'm trying to maintain some gas mileage. I know people say, oh, it's a Jeep, you don't get it for the gas mileage. That's exactly right. I'm looking at it more as range. So going out west or going on trails, it can be the difference of having to stop, put gas in it, maybe even having to call someone to come and get you, versus being able to continue on the trail. So that's the plans for the tires. If you have another suggestion, I am open to it. Just have really good reasons why you really like that tire. Don't say, oh, I ran a set and I liked it. Okay, that's cool. Good, you had good experience, but I would like a little bit more real world data to kind of support that. Mek Magnet. I had magnets on my JK and they really helped with protecting the vehicle from light scratches, that kind of thing. With the JLs, they're aluminum sheet metal, so you can't use actual magnets. Mek uses a membrane on the back of it to adhere to the panel. As long as you maintain them, and the maintenance on them is essentially cleaning the backside of them and cleaning the Jeep before you put them on, they aren't going to cause additional damage. I had a lot of people tell me, oh, it'll scratch your Jeep, it'll scratch your Jeep. One, it didn't. Two, you're going to scratch your Jeep anyway, so I would rather have maybe a small scratch from like a pebble stuck on the back of the magnet or whatever versus one that goes down the entire side of the Jeep. A lot easier to buff, a lot easier to repair if it happens. But for my personal experience, didn't happen. Metal cloak for the lifts. I ran metal cloak on the JK, loved it. I've installed metal cloak on my buddy's JT Gladiator. Really straightforward kit, rides better than stock. Going with 3.5-inch lift so I can get better articulation. The Jeep currently has, I believe, a 2.5-inch lift. I did buy it used from TerraFlex. Rides great, but I want a little bit higher of a lift just to help out with going over rocks on the Rubicon. Falcon shocks, 2.1s. I would love to run 3.3s, but it's just not in the budget. This is already a pretty expensive list, so I want to try to find something that's more budget friendly, but is still going to perform well. And from what I've seen, the Falcon 2.1s do that. They do have the ability to adjust a little bit firmer, a little bit softer. So hopefully get that dialed in right, and we have a good ride. Again, with the metal cloak, I think it should pair fine. If you have any other experience that it doesn't, let me know. Excuse me. Fighting a cold here, but as far as beefing up the Jeep, kind of the must-haves, I'm going to be trussing the front and rear, Artec truss. A friend of mine, again, put that on his Jeep. Really liked the way it turned out. Seemed to be a great company, good product, not too expensive, which is also a plus. And I have friends that can help me weld those onto the tubes. Again, this is kind of set up for the 37s, so I don't want to bend an axle tube, give a little bit more extra strength. I know with the JLs, knuckles are going to be an issue. Axle shafts could be an issue, and those are all things that I plan on upgrading down the line, but this is essentially to get me to the Rubicon and hopefully get me off. So kind of want to be prepared as I can, but if you're in this hobby, if you're watching this video, you know exactly what I mean when, yeah, it'd be nice to run 1 tons and 40s, but that's not in everybody's budget. This is a good investment for myself even, and I've been wheeling and jeeping for a while. Adam's front drive shaft, when you lift the JL's 3.5-inch lifts, 3.5 inches or more, it's recommended by a lot of the lift companies to actually upgrade the front drive shaft because that factory joint doesn't have enough articulation, and it's going to wear out and fail on the trail. Skid plates, also going with metal cloak. I feel like if I'm gonna be using their lift, I want to use their skid plates because everything should work very well in concert. And they make good stuff. So I am going to do a rear diff skid. I haven't decided on what brand to use just because the metal cloak won't work with the truss system, so I'm going to have to find another manufacturer to kind of go with, and might have to do some modification on something like that. I'm going to do rock lights I hope to have a video about doing rock lights. Being a radio guy, radio interference is kind of a big deal for me. So the cheap ones on Amazon are great. They make decent amount of light. They also make a lot of RF radio interference. So I'm gonna have to find out which one makes the least amount, if any. And I plan on doing some testing for you guys and hopefully throw a video together so you can, if that's important to you, you can find out the best one for you. I have the factory switch panel, but it only has 4, and all of those are currently used. So I'm gonna have to buy another switch panel. I'm looking at the Spod. It's a Voswitch 400. It's the one that goes in the grab handle on the driver's side. I kind of like that idea. I might go with one that just mounts and has like 4, 6, 8 panel someplace. Haven't decided. Again, personal experience, let me know. I've never used them, so want to hear your thoughts. I'm going to do camping lights in the back of the Jeep, so white, amber LEDs, so that when we're out camping on the trail, have a nice light to see what we're doing. And last but not least, this is more of it's not a necessity. It probably is going to get nixed, but I am looking at doing the hothead headliner for the Sky One Touch top. I watched their videos on it. Their installation guide is fantastic. I'll probably do one too, just because I will be having it if I buy it. Again, not a necessity. It's just going to be something that's going to be nice to have on a 35-hour drive. As far as upgrades, with the exception of one thing, and it's going to be in the next video that we do. Spoiler alert, beadlocks. So this is going to wrap up the video, kind of short. Just wanted to give you my list, my worksheet that things are going to be happening, coming down the pipeline in the channel. So if you have any questions, if you have comments, if you say, hey Kyle, get X instead of Y, please let me know. I mean, this is going to be a lot of hard-earned money, and it's going to take a lot of time. So the good news is, if you have those suggestions, please let me know. I'm kind of asking for feedback in this video. So I want to give a shout out to Mojo, the New Year's Day ride video, which I did have up, and then Roku decided to take it away. Got a lot of great video comments and views on that, and I've actually increased subscribers up to 241, which is pretty cool because about a month ago I was sitting about 215-ish. So I really appreciate that. I don't want to do YouTube full time, but it is nice that people are at least willing to subscribe and say, hey, I like what you're putting out. So another thing in the analytics, not to harp too much on it, but 90% of the people that watch the videos aren't subscribed. So if you could hit the subscribe button, I don't even care if you hit the notifications, just subscribe. It helps out the channel, helps it to grow, and is going to help me provide good content for all of you. So really appreciate it. Hope you have a great day, and hopefully your 2024 is off to a great start.